Oh. Oh no. It's getting nasty. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Geek Sci-Fi here on Free X Agents Media. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you're watching this on Twitch, if you're watching this on our own site, geeksypha.com, GEEKCYPHA.com, we appreciate it. We thank you for tuning in. I'm recovering from a cold. It sucked. It sucked being sick.
Tis the season. Tis the season. Even my throat's a little scratchy.
The worst is how often people have to say, yeah, it's that time of year. I'm like, come on, man. But like,
no sympathy for you, Brian.
No, I'm not asking for sympathy. Don't get me wrong. I get it. No sympathy needed. It is just difficult to get sick. Like dude, I must have the strongest 4 upper pack of my abs right now from the coughing, because these puppies are like rock hard steel. Because I'm just, anyways, it's
man cold's real, ladies and gentlemen. Man cold's real.
Shout outs to my partner for taking care of me, because I felt like crap. Sorry, Jaws.
I was gonna say I could tell you probably anybody in childcare, anybody that has kids, teachers, they're like, whatevs, man. That's all day, every day. Are you sick today? All day. Nah.
I gotta say, when I worked at the hospital, I was telling this to a friend of mine. When I worked at the hospital, it was the longest stretch I ever went without getting sick. 2012 to 2017.
Sanitizing everything all the time, no?
Yeah, so that's what it was.
Not the COVID way.
No. But one person said to me, yeah, it's probably because you were more aware of germs. And I was just like, I just thought it was because it was the microdosing of germs, like just being constantly introduced to illness on a daily basis.
Either you washed your hands more, or you used the Purell more.
I washed my hands. I wash my hands like a doctor. Like I used to go to there's like a special sink outside the trauma bay area. And every shift I would work, I would go over there and wash my hands like they do on the show ER, where you like roll up your sleeves, you press the thing with your foot so you don't touch anything. Yeah. And I'd like do all the way up to my elbows and then dry off my arms and go back to work. And
would you wear a mask back then?
I wore a mask pretty often at work too. So yeah, I guess, but I mean, still 5 years, almost nothing. And then the second I leave this,
you had PPE, son.
Yeah. Man, we gotta shout outs to the people that work in the medical field. Y'all are saints out there. But yo, let's start it off. First things first, we have news that we didn't announce last week that we were supposed to read. So I'll read the headlines real quick because we didn't get a chance to go over them. Actually, I'll let you start with the new news. You added new Gundam. Oh, you want me to start with the old? Okay. Courtney B. Vance joins Percy Jackson and the Olympians as Zeus. This is actually quite sad because, I mean, it's fantastic that he's joining the show, but it's sad because he's replacing Lance Reddick. Dave and I were just talking about Lance Reddick because we were watching Vox Machina season 3, episode 3. We watched it at 2x because
Brian's a crazy person.
Dave's already seen it and I just wanted to watch it. So we watched it at 2x. Dave, tell me how it was.
I have no idea how you enjoy it. I have no idea how you're able to, like, he like was laughing at stuff. I'm like, I saw it last night, so I knew where to laugh. And he's watching. I'm like,
was I not laughing though?
How'd you even process it?
I'm
sorry. There's one thing that we've had this argument before, and I stand by it, especially after that episode. Comedy needs timing to digest. Something needs to happen, and there needs to be a period of time before.
Yeah, but his timing's been altered.
But that's the thing. Yeah, but anyone else watching, it's because this guy's infected.
But did I miss the jokes though? You watched it with me. You know what?
Did you just stoops? Did you just stoops?
I mean, that's hilarious. I liked the episode. I thought it was fine, but it was very sad because I was talking about the fact that it was hard for me to jump into this season, specifically because Lance passed away, and I was sad at the idea that Lance wouldn't be a part of the show anymore. And so I was kind of just like, yeah, I guess I'll watch it when I have a chance. And Dave was just like, he really wanted to talk about it. He's really excited about it. So I said, okay, well, let me see where you are. He said he's at episode 4. I was just like, I think I'm up to episode 4. So I checked and I realized, no, I hadn't seen episode 3. So we sped watch episode 3 at 2x. and I thought it was good. I think I think you're right.
Season 3 up until episode 3, solid.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say.
But all that to say, Courtney B. Vance will be taking over as Zeus in the series Percy Jackson on Disney Plus because, as we mentioned, Lance has passed away. We also forgot to mention last week Sterling K. Brown, Rita Ora, and John Kim. John Kim, who some of you probably don't know, but was one of the leads. He played Blaze on the show Cruel Intentions. Oh, wait, you don't know him from that show because that show sucked and no one watched it? Sorry, you're right. So Sterling K. Brown, Rita Ora, and a relatively unknown actor because no one watched that show will be starring in Voltron for Amazon MGM exclusive. Once again, Amazon just throwing money at IPs. And I will say
season of them.
Wait, a live action Voltron?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Henry Cavill's already on too.
Is Sterling black? A name like Sterling, you got to be black.
Sterling K. Brown, you know Sterling K. Brown.
Do I?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me do it.
Josh,
So
you do it.
remember in Black Panther, the brother that he had to kill because he's going to start a revolution in LA.
Yeah.
That's him.
Oh, that nigga from fucking
This Is Us.
This Is Us.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Fuck is he gonna do
wanted to go the other
Voltron?
way. I was like, This Is Us is gonna be the easy one.
Wait.
If I want to go the other way with it,
I love that you had to go.
I wanted to because
I love that he gave you Black Panther. You're like, oh yeah, the dude from This Is Us.
No, that's where I know him from. He's the emotional, like, really smart black brother from This Is Us, who's like who just happens to be with these like 2 white kids and his family. But
because they lose their triplet and then they pick him up.
They
in
pick
an adoption.
him up and they meet his
Insane
dad.
story.
Season 1. Listen, that show was good up until like season 3, and then I was like, all right, too sad.
No, my favorite was when he goes for counseling.
Oh yeah,
and he's basically talking to Bobby Hill's voice actress.
Yep.
And every time in his mind, he's like, "Oh, I could have saved my dad." He's always banging some TA.
What?
He's not married. Like he's having like okay, if I was to save my dad, this is how it would go down. I wouldn't be married to my wife. I wouldn't have kids. I'd be banging a different TA.
Oh wait, they did an alternate reality type.
Yeah, but it's just him working through stuff. And at the end of the session, she's basically like, can I ask you a quick question? How many other like old white women therapists are you seeing? Because like I don't get a lot of black dudes. This seems like stuff you have to tell your mom. This doesn't seem like that was the breakdown.
Oh, no.
It was just like it seems like you're mad at your mom, your adopted mom for something.
Sally Field. Was it Sally Field? Sally Field. No, sorry, it's not Sally Field. His mom is the singer there. Hold on, Mandy Moore. Yeah. So she's basically telling him like you got to go talk to your mom because you got to go tell Mandy Moore
that a black man's coming to see an old white woman for therapy. And
what?
But she called him out on it.
She's talking about the show This Is Us,
which is madness. But all to say, where's Sterling going to fit into Voltron? I'm going to be the one person that says this. Hey, none of them pilots looked like me, and I didn't mind that in this sense. I know a brother ain't Twilight and no lion.
Well, I don't know, man. Those Sprite commercials said otherwise.
Yeah, but which one is he going to be? He's either going to be the yellow one, so Hulk or Hunk or whatever his name was.
I'm gonna try some crazy stuff while you guys are talking. Just continue. Ignore
he's
the
either
weird
going to be
shape.
Lance because they're not going to make him leader. He's either going to be Lance. He's going to be Prince of wherever they defend.
He could be the king.
He could be the king. You know, okay. This is what they're going to do.
Or he could be the main bad guy.
He's Lothar,
purple, I think.
He's going to be freaking Lothar. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Because last time it was Tim Curry who did the voice for Prince. So this, he's going to be voice acting. Yeah, it was Tim Curry. He was Lothar in like Voltron, the Third Dimension, which was like, for me at the time, I just started watching Voltron. I was like, oh man, this show is great. And then you watch it now, you're like, this is ass. Like, animation is doo-doo. It's
I've never got on the Voltron train.
It's like when Mainframe just started doing 3D art and they thought they were Batman after reboot, so all the hands looked like this. And they were like, it was like
hilarious.
Yeah, because it's the same production company. It's the same people that did Johnny Quest, the new Johnny Quest, and they had the 3D part.
Yeah.
And then after that, they went on to do
Bratz.
No, Roughnecks.
Nebula?
Roughnecks.
That was it, Roughnecks.
What was it called again? Starship Troopers, Roughnecks.
Yeah,
That's it.
Roughneck.
So then they're getting their fingers in and all that kind. Like they're
They
able
all,
to.
they all looked like
articulate.
marionettes hopping around like this, but it wasn't quite friggin' what's it called? Thunderbirds Are Go. Yeah, it wasn't quite Thunderbirds, but like, bro, it might as well be because your elbow is stuck like this.
But yeah, even Reboot, they didn't have like crazy articulation, so they would purposely like anything like they would try to get your
to cut
not
you
do
off
fingers, but they
yeah.
did do fists and stuff. But then as their animation got better, they were able to do all of that stuff.
Yeah, they got
Wild.
Yeah.
Other news. This one is for the millennials who care about Harry Potter.
Oh man.
And this one is going to be hard. You know what? This one I'm going to pull up the person's face because if you didn't remember Sterling, I definitely don't think you're going to know who Paapa Essiedu is.
Wait, hold on. Let me guess.
Good name.
Let me guess.
Hold on.
What was
I'm going to share my screen.
I'm assuming it's just like the only black wizard.
Yeah, right.
No. He's not the only black wizard.
On the council, I think.
He
was like the African wizard. Like he had the head thing.
Yeah.
Yo, man, I'd have my own school if I was from there. Afrodor. That's what you were.
Afrodor. This mother.
Afrodor. Oh my gosh.
Afrodor. Hell yeah.
What are you talking
Why
about?
are you putting that
Okay,
in
first of all,
do
you have certain?
Hold on.
And then
Paapa Essiedu is the name of the actor, not a character. Just a heads up.
I know.
That'd be really bad if his name of a character.
Sounds like a character name.
I know, but
I don't know this guy.
So this actor, who is on a bunch of different shows that I've watched, but he's most famously known for "I May Destroy You," is what people are saying. Is gonna be Snape, Severus Snape.
No.
Wow.
I didn't believe it. I thought it was clickbait.
What are you doing?
Is that bad?
Guys,
Like, how do you guys feel about that?
This is
the guy's
not
a long-term bad guy. How do you guys feel about this?
Snape's not a bad guy. He's misunderstood.
He ain't good.
This is not. To me, this is not all that surprising in a way, because I know when they made the Harry Potter stage play show or whatever, they made Hermione was played by a black woman.
Well, that's because Hermione in the book is supposed to be black or like Mediterranean. But she's
that's why hers were frizzy or something.
Yes,
like
she's not a white kid, and everyone was just like, well, no, she's a white kid because that's how we picture her when we read the books because we have bias. Like,
but even the creator was like, no, you weren't reading it right. Even the creator was like, no, they could do what they want with the stage show.
Yeah.
Imagine the creator, who is racist herself, is correcting you on race.
I didn't say it.
I hate all people, but this girl's black, right? So that's that.
Hey,
more so transphobic. Other than that,
transphobic. I was about to say, there's a difference.
I don't know, man. She said some.
It kind of falls under the same tree.
She's said some bigoted stuff that's just bigoted to be bigoted. But yeah, so that homeboy is gonna be Severus Snape in HBO's Harry Potter TV show. First things first,
keeping on Harry's mom.
Correct me. I feel like, and y'all are gonna hate me for this shit. Sirius Black would have been better.
No, Severus Snape is the name.
No, but the character Sirius Black, he should have been Sirius Black.
Sirius Black,
the father-in-law, not the father, the Godfather.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been bad.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one.
Sirius Black.
Like Black Ranger.
At least he's black. It would have made sense this time.
Racism there, but like
Skinny,
whatever.
no. You know what? Specifically,
that would get canceled.
That's also
him being Snape after the guy who previously played Snape is gonna get this shit canceled.
Yes, I was gonna say the problem with this is not that it's gonna be a black actor. It's the fact that the actor who played what's his name, Rickman.
I'll put some respect on his name.
You can't beat Sheriff of Nottingham. Are you kidding me, bro?
Alan Rickman, who's Hans Gruber, Sheriff of Nottingham. Like
he's a plethora of
he like I was just watching a thing where he said he wished he hadn't done Die Hard because he didn't want to be typecast as villains, but he
Alan
understands.
Rickman.
Yeah, we said it.
Okay, sorry. I was typing away over here. Clack, clack, clack.
No, I said it to him. I made it.
That's so funny. But yeah, he was saying how like being typecast led to him being a villain in a lot of movies in the 90s, which is fair. We did see him do that.
I'm sorry if you do evil well, my guy. Like, what do you mean?
No, but I mean, he's a stage actor. Like, from what I understand, he was a stage actor. He got to LA 2 weeks before he got the Die Hard part. And was like, yeah. And he was just like, man, I don't think I want to take this role because if I take this role, this is how Hollywood will see me. Because if we're being honest, at the time, anytime you like started off on screen as one thing, they typecast you for a minute. There's a
I'm
lot
sorry?
of actors who got stuck in roles for a
Yeah,
minute.
but
You have a
people-
funny accent,
What's
villain.
that?
I was about
Right.
to say, I think it's the concept that he was more of a thespian. Is more.
What's that here? Is
problem.
that steady work I hear? Shut
Oh,
up!
yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Shut
We've-
up.
Wrong.
We've
Not
had this
wrong.
conversation.
Not wrong.
We've had this exact conversation where we said steady work, but some people don't want to be typecast.
I
Yeah.
get
We talked about it.
Run that $58,000 times 7, and then you'll see how you feel about typecast. All right?
That's fair. That's
Bro.
fair. That's fair. I get it. I do agree with you that it does. If your story is you showed up to Hollywood 2 weeks before you got this huge role that made you a star, and that you continued to get roles similar to that, it is hard for us to say, well, sucks to be you, but good for you. Like, like I'll cry you a river. Fuck out of here.
No,
and
I
you
guess
can
you better find
imagine.
yourself a soap opera. Shoot.
You
Oh,
show up to
no.
LA and they're like, we need a European douchebag. You.
Yeah.
God, yeah, not a box office killer. My first go.
we,
Oh,
didn't, we
shit.
didn't know Die Hard was going to be a box office.
They knew.
Box
No,
office hit.
no,
then
they
turned-
didn't. They
Yeah, but then-
didn't.
Yeah, but
Because-
then it turned cult classic, then it turned Christmas cult classic, and you've been running
I'm-
royalties since today.
Because I'm
Right?
just saying, when he
Today's
showed up in
royalties.
LA, it's like, okay, who else is in this movie? Oh, a guy named Bruce Willis. He's gonna be an action star. The dude from
Yeah.
Moonlighting.
Yeah,
The funny
exactly.
dude from really,
Hey, man,
really.
shut up and play this role. How about that? We're paying you to have a funny accent. Do that.
Okay, Jaws. Now, the last piece of news we got: new Gundam anime from the
Yes.
creators of Evangelion.
Yeah,
then Jillian
so-
is doing. Sorry.
So there's a new
Oh.
Gundam series that just got announced today,
Cool.
called Mobile Suit Gundam Q. It's a very weird name.
course.
G Quacks, I think. But it's
I thought it was
it's
called
spelled
Q.
out. Hold on, hold on.
Is
Let
Is
me
it called
finish.
Kujuak?
Let me.
That's not how
It's
you spell
spelled
Kujuak, bro.
capital
Like,
G.
That's
Capital
not how people
Q.
say that. Don't listen to Skinny, please. That was racist.
I'm very happy that the article I found actually spelt out how to pronounce it properly, because I was like,
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah, G Quacks. So
Oh, yeah.
GQUUUUX.
Bruh.
So
That is the weirdest thing ever.
Is it starring Donald Duck or any kind of other
No,
duck
no,
from,
no,
Duck Bird?
So it'll be directed by Kuzia Tsurumaki, the acclaimed director of the 2000 anime FLCL, Fuli Kuli, with scripts co-written by Yoji Kido, who also did Revolutionary Girl Utena, and Evangelion creator Hideki
That's some
Anno.
Cool art.
Why does the
Thank
Gundam look
God
like?
we have.
It looks very
Wow, so
weird.
you
It does
can
not
say
look
all
like a
those
regular
names.
Gundam. It's very.
This looks like
Yes.
Hey,
It has too many curves.
Yeah,
man,
there you go.
that ain't my Gundam. This be my Gundam. You see that? That's a Gundam.
So
Oh,
it-
is
You're
it-
right, but it's so
Is it
cool.
a
It's so
is it a
cool.
woman? Okay, hold on.
It's a
I think
female
the-
Gundam.
I think the Gundam's supposed to be female because it looks like it has heels on.
Oh,
Look at
man.
so the main pilot is female.
Oh,
Oh, that's a
and
first.
The animation looks very, very. No, it's
Oh,
not. It's not a
that's
first in
why
Gundam for
it's
having the main character being female. I think the last one was, well, at least the last one I remember at the moment is Iron Witch.
I fell off at
Came out
Gundam
not
Seed,
too long
so
ago.
I'm a
I'm-
little disappointed that because it's a woman, and don't get me wrong, you can make the Gundam female, but why did you put heels and curves and boobs
has breasts,
on a
yeah.
robot? Like it has like a chest plate. Like
I
Yo,
think
there's
it's really
defensive measures for that shit.
because I think it's trying really hard to really differentiate themselves, and also when the creator of Evangelion is a part of anything, his mecha designs aren't
Always
typical.
look-
They're
wow.
always different. It's always like wild and crazy and stuff. So
Yeah,
like,
this looks like
so-
Escaflowne, man.
So they're really trying to do something very, very different. What was the other show that was it? I forgot
Escaflowne?
the name of that. No, not Escaflowne. There's another one, Razafon or something like that.
Razafon.
There's another one called Razafon, I think, that he worked on. But yeah, I'm interested. I saw the trailer for it, and I was like, yeah, the characters look like the animation style for the characters looks very different from Gundam in general. Like they don't look grounded. They look very stylized.
Oh,
And
Okay.
same with the mechas. But they still show a Zaku that looks very normal, except this Gundam is the wild one, the one that looks like crazy.
insane.
Hmm.
Okay, well, for you anime nerds out there, I see even Ness is like, all right. See, this is how I know I'm not enough of an anime nerd because you said all these names, and my first thought was, this is lovely.
I
gonna
just
read
need
them.
Gundam Wing. I need a continuation of Gundam Wing, which I'm never gonna get. But I'm okay.
well,
I never.
There's the
never
movie.
move on.
Oh yeah, Endless Waltz. Okay, yeah.
There's Endless Waltz, and I think there's a few mangas here and there. But
that was just the best Gundam team. Is that the only time they've done a 5-team Gundam team? That wasn't officially 5, but you know what I mean?
My interest in
kind
sorry.
Double O.
Go Ness, what were you saying?
Gundam 00.
No, I was just gonna say my interest in Gundams only started when I went to Japan, and I actually went to.
You saw the big motherfucker?
Yeah, exactly.
You got to see
And I
it
went to
move
the
and everything.
store and everything. Yeah,
You saw their
and I was
live
like,
defense system that they have in case aliens come? Yeah, great. I saw that. Damn. I want that. See that Gundam.
No, but it was really sick, and I was like, wow, it's cooler than I thought.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm
always
sad-
liked Transformers, so this was like an anime version of that.
And I'm sad, but if I'm not mistaken, they took it down too, right?
yeah,
Because it,
What?
yeah.
it was supposed to celebrate, I think, the 40-year anniversary, and it stayed up for like 3 years after that.
Yeah, it wasn't
When
meant.
did they take it down? Because I went to Japan last
Yeah,
year.
I think they took it down like right after you
After
left.
that, yeah.
Yeah, probably right after. Or
It's,
Yeah.
it's a working robot.
So you're. Did you take pictures of it?
Yeah, of course. I have pictures like with
Yeah,
it.
that's awesome. So you have pictures. Those are probably the last few pictures because it probably went down like
No
right after
way.
that.
Went
Which is pretty
down
cool.
back underground to refix its
the
weapons.
bunker.
that's it. I think they kept the head, and it's on.
Yeah,
the
It hasn't even been a
house.
year. I went
Listen.
in January 2024.
When
Yeah, but it
shit
had,
goes
like,
down, you're gonna
went
see
down
that
in,
thing rising quick.
Like Josh
It
said,
went down in March.
it was up there for like 3 years past the time they said they were gonna.
Yeah.
It's like when I went
it
to-
was a huge tourist attraction.
Sure.
When I went to Calgary and I was at that Olympic Park, and they're like the bricks have people's names, and I saw Michael J. Fox's brick, and I was just like, oh, how come you guys are tearing the park down? They're just like, we were only supposed to do this for like a couple years after the '88 Olympics. It's been 30 years. I was like, oh, okay. The guy was just like, there's like people have fallen in this park because they haven't done the upkeep because they don't want to damage the bricks, but then they didn't do the upkeep for the park. So anyways, long story short, like sometimes people just get lazy in cities. They put money into something and they're just like, leave it.
Giant bricks, I get it. Like park, cool. Giant working robot, keep that going.
I mean, like,
Nobody's messing with you if you just have a robot.
And
there
it
with
wasn't
play.
actually a working robot.
Yeah, it's not
What I'm
actually a
saying
working
is-
robot.
What I'm
Like,
saying
even-
is people are less likely to come at you for some war games when you have
This
a
is
play robot just there. Just
I like that you genuinely think that people are going to be like, you know what? Maybe we don't mess with Japan because I see they got real robots out in these streets.
Cool.
if you're gonna put into something like that to look that real for it to be for play, tell me what you got in your weapons depot. I'm saying,
That's
though,
fair. That's
Oh,
actually
my
fair.
abs hurt.
Cool point about that robot though. So when you go into
So
the
funny.
into the area to like, where it's like, oh hey, here's all these people talking about the robot and
looks
everything.
at you.
So when you talk, there's a part where they talk to the engineers and the designers, and they're like, what's one thing that no one would know unless you told them? And they're like,
Operational.
the
It talks.
cockpit area, it's 1-for-1. It's a legit cockpit, but you just can't go into it. Like we did the cockpit.
Wait, so the cockpit is actually there, but you can't see it?
You
Can't
can't
get
see
into
it, you can't enter it, but they just did it. They just made it just because.
Oh,
There's a way to get in. They're lying.
Now,
Okay, see, Skinny's starting to make sense.
Yeah.
When you start saying things like, by the way, we made a mock version of this very dangerous Gundam robot and actually put a cockpit in it and all these gadgets and things.
No,
But
like,
you.
there's nothing in there to like move it or anything, but like you
Yeah.
could literally.
Well,
sit in there.
Jaws, how would you know? You've never been in it. No one has. They're just
That's
telling.
what they said. When I was there
That's what
reading
they said.
everything, I was reading everything, and I was like, I wouldn't put it past them to do
That's what
that.
they
And then
want us to
also,
know.
Exactly.
the creator of Gundam was like, he was kind of
You know-
proud, but also disappointed because he was like,
I gotta say-
sorry, we can't make it walk. Like
Skinny,
it has to be an ordinance as a building. It's
I'm on your team. Skinny, I'm on your team.
So
I'm on
that-
Skinny's team.
I
There-
would not be surprised.
This is a
honestly.
Gundam. It worked. You can't tell me you make something like that and build a
It
cockpit.
doesn't work like you were hoping it does.
It
But I
works.
feel like-
Sure.
No, because when I was
feels a
there,
lot better than
when
you
I was
think.
there, they had shut it down for a bit because it was windy.
But
And
Jaws-
because it's windy, they're like, we can't make it move.
Jaws.
And when the wind cuts out, then they're
They've
like,
paid
okay,
Jaws
now we
off.
can make it
I know,
move.
huh? Jaws is fighting. Jaws is fighting so hard. Jaws is fighting so hard to be like, it's not real.
You're
Why
sus-
do you think it's? It's
You're
like
sus,
check it,
bro.
check it. Here's what they did.
Sus real quick.
They bust it out. They let people enjoy it for 3 years. Then they're gonna bring it back down into the bunker. actually configure them weapons, bring it back for a 5-year anniversary of the Gundam, whatever. Everyone's like, oh wow, look, and look, we have a second model, Wing Zero. People are gonna be like, oh my gosh, another one.
All I know,
And that's when the
Much
attack on
money.
America.
all I
started.
know is if Japan is going to be building Gundams, I hope they're going to back Canada when the U.S. decides to invade, because Trump's out here saying he's going to take Canada as the 51st state, and we're going to need all our allies when that crazy bastard shows up.
He's gonna try to take us as a 50, like the whole country in our provinces.
Dude, he tweeted a picture of him with a Canadian flag saying, "Oh, Canada," after he told Trudeau, "Hey, why don't you just be governor of the 51st state of Canada, once it joins the US?" This man is Delulu.
He's a loon.
Shout out to the kids for Delulu, because this is the only word I feel fits with that crazy.
I don't think that's the kids. I think that's from the Africans. The Africans came up with Delulu.
Anything
From
with Lulu?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like that guy who does the Instagrams and whatnot, where he's like calling out
All
people
right.
stupid doing things. Yeah.
Delulu, I'm down.
There's that guy, and there's
Whoever-
another dude that comments on
Whoever
people-
created it, it's the perfect word for him, because you can't just go and tell the leader of another country, "Hey, homie, how about you just slide the papers over and just give me your country?"
I'm pretty sure that's the presidential / political equivalent of "suck my dick from the back." Like, I'm
Yeah,
pretty-
yeah.
I might be like, "Hey, yo,"
Like that is the most disrespectful thing I think you could do. You could just
Yeah.
walk into someone's like, imagine you went to someone's.
We'll just send in our moose army, and they'll be done.
That's
Did you ever see a moose mash up a car? I saw a video of a moose. It jumped into a garage, and this dude had like a BMW M, not M. Is it M1? I think it's an M1, and it just like, oh, how did I get in here? Just crushing the car, and then it finally hops out the back door, and like,
Yeesh. What was that? Was it?
We live in
No.
sad times.
Was it the Ring 2 that had the deers all run up on those people, or was it Moose? But one of the movies, but
I think it's deer.
it was deer. Yeah, deer can do damage.
I
too, man.
definitely wouldn't know. I do not watch horror, sir.
do
You
not
know
watch.
I do not watch horror.
You watch
You're gonna say
everything in 2 times, but you can't watch a scary movie in 2 times. You know what? All
I'm
right.
not gonna watch horror sped up. It doesn't help.
Jump
The
scare
shit
comes
still
out.
Anything
pops
that'll
out.
make it worse.
Yeah, the shit just pops out even faster from the dark
What?
scenes.
Okay, real quick. There's a series of horror movies that came out. Brian, you won't know. That has a clown, and I thought it was like a continuation of House of a Thousand Corpses, but it's a completely different character. And
Saw?
it's gonna bother me.
It's a
because-
black and white clown.
Yes. What's his name?
That's
what's
recent.
What's
It's
those
not
movies
Saw?
called? No, it's not Saw. It's
It's
no.
Scary movie?
recent. Here we go.
Terrifier?
Okay. Funny story.
Oh.
So 3 weeks ago, I'm outside.
Terrifier did crazy numbers, by the way.
It shouldn't, because I read the description. This shit's fucked. Anyways, I'm
kill
outside of the
Santa.
bar, and some kid, he's just
Right.
saying random weird things. He even, like, a brown kid said the N-word. I'm like, okay, what's your name? And he repeatedly starts screaming, "Terrifier, Terrifier, Terrifier, Terrifier." I'm like, okay. So I go ahead and Google Terrifier. Don't ever do that.
Yeah,
If you do-
Terrifier.
Don't read it.
Terrifier is a series that got started kind of from the cult slasher community, like Shudder and all these like smaller
Mhm.
streamers. They did the first one, and then the first one did so well. This from what I was listening to a podcast. I was listening to The Town, and they
Was it
talked
like-
about it.
Ugh.
Like this guy convinced the studio that he was working at to buy the rights to the movie and release the second one. The second one did gangbuster numbers. They put money into the third one.
Which has Chris Jericho, I think.
Maybe, I don't know. But the third one outperformed all the movies that came out that week. And it outperformed major studio films
And
when it
it's
came out. And people were like,
madness.
maybe
people were
it's the
upset.
season that it came out.
The
The
stuff.
what, sorry?
Maybe it's the season that it came out.
Maybe.
Well, no, because it's a horror movie. So even if it's a season, it's going up against things that people weren't gonna like. People who weren't gonna see horror
Listen,
weren't gonna see it.
Brian,
You know what I mean? Like they were gonna
Yes.
see
No,
other
but
movies.
but if it comes out like during
In October.
Halloween,
It came
It
out
came
like-
out, it
yeah.
came October 11th.
Yeah, but that's
exactly. So that's
why.
why.
Probably.
'cause
The stuff I read that happened in all 3 of the movies. Brian, you want to take 80s horror when it was at its peak of doing wild shit
Yeah.
and make that an Elmo show. And then and this is what it's like. We're talking about like devil worship, a certain word that I can't say on podcasts, demons coming through spots and doing all sorts of weird shit. Like, dog, I was just like, I'm reading this. I'm just like, well, I can't go to bed. Legit.
Can't go to bed from reading it.
Bro, I haven't been that scared legit since I was a child. No one should watch these movies. No one. No one. And yet there's gangbusters of people going out and watching this shit. That's why I say these directors, man, let's get them checked out.
Well, I would say the writer.
Why not the fans who are supporting them?
I would say the writer.
Hey, it's
There's
a
weirdos out there. No,
Well, I would say the writers. I would say the writers.
Directors, whoever greenlits it, whoever, get them all in jail. Get them all in jail.
Free speech.
Bruh. The free speech. Just one of these scenes, you're going to be wondering about what free speech is really about. Hey, yo.
Hey, I'm a huge horror fan, so
okay.
I'm on the other side. But
go ahead and watch this and then come back and talk to me.
Hey, I'm not saying that they're not fucked up. Like a lot of them are questionable.
Exactly.
It's like,
yeah,
like,
but we can't not have horror.
There's cutting someone into pieces, and then there's like wild detail where you're just like, why'd you even need to do that?
Yeah, fair.
Because it's coming from Ness when Akeem's like, we all changed ever since Ness came around.
This guy goes, yeah.
Speaking of Akeem, perfect segue. I wanted to mention, everyone's talking about the Spotify Wrapped. It's the big hoopla. Everyone's so excited about the first things first.
People get all like screwy about it because it was like, it's not coming out fast enough. Mine's not showing up.
I don't know, but I mean, a friend of mine sent me a link of someone editing theirs on Photoshop. So already
Kanye West.
already, I don't believe any of the Spotify raps I see. I don't believe you people anymore. It's all fake. People are editing their top 5. It's fake. I don't care.
No.
Why would you even do that in the middle of class where everyone can see you? Like, that's the weird part.
Hey,
I know a friend of mine. I know hers is legit because it was just like her top artist was Chaperone. I was like, okay. And then when you look on the side on the other section, like I think number 3 or most listened artist was like Kanye West was like number 4. And we're like, what? Why is Kanye West on your list? And she's like, I don't know. Just show it up.
Sure.
I don't know why you would just Photoshop Kanye West onto your list. I don't think that's edited.
Some people want to.
I still don't think the stats are like accurately calculated.
No.
Yeah, it doesn't, because there's a bunch of people I know who say they're like, yeah, I listen to this song, but I also listen to like this type of music for a lot of time, like here, and then this weekend I know I listened to this with my friends there, so shouldn't these have been on my list? And I'm like, I don't know. But all that to say, Spotify Wrapped made me think of what were our top 5 episodes of the year. So I went back and I checked our stats, and I can tell you our Geek Cypher top 5. Episode 381, I don't know if I want to, fam, was number 1. Episode 360, which I think might have been Ness's first or one of your first, because the title was Adult Toy Section, where we had that whole conversation about the toy sections at HMV.
Like the second.
Yeah. Episode 369, Magneto, more like Magneto, which was when we started doing a lot of X-Men 97 coverage. Episode 367, who is carbon dating their friends with Akeem Hoyt Charles. Apologies, Akeem. And then and that was tied for 4th place with episode 382, Deadpool and Wolverine review.
God damn.
So those were the top 5.
Nice.
Top 5.
And shout outs everyone. I sent you guys the video of our Spotify Wrapped for creators as a podcast. So one of the things that was cool, we saw a 21% jump in subscribers, 23% jump in streams, listenership, and our 5 top countries look pretty cool. Hold on, I'm gonna try and pull that up again because
Ness, look what we did.
Yeah, thanks, Ness.
All because of you. It's all because of you. Ain't nobody was listening. Yeah. The 4 of us.
Hey, I thought I made you guys crazy or something.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, but you got our numbers up.
And yeah, the crazy led to better numbers. So I mean, I'm not complaining about it. It is funny though, because when I was like looking at the stats and stuff, there's some episodes where we did do, because what I did was I combined the plays from Spotify with the plays from YouTube. So that actually moves some episodes up and down, because without the YouTube, the Magneto is actually quite a bit lower, but it was one of the most viewed episodes on YouTube. So that really helped, which is stuff like that. That's really fun to see, that people are interacting more, and a lot of people are watching more. I was just listening to Conan O'Brien's podcast, and they did the state of events or whatever with their podcast, where they kind of recap everything. And their producer did go over one thing that I've known, but I don't know if most people realize. YouTube is the home of podcasts now. It is where most people consume podcasts,
Wow.
even more than Apple and Spotify and stuff. And that's one of the reasons that the video element has become so important, because people really like watching podcasts. It's
You're
more
basically producing a freaking show for more. God damn.
Yeah,
Like,
so
you get
that's
to
the
hang
thing.
out with your friends and
That's
you just
fun.
sit in and listen.
I still think Conan and the people should be banned from making any kind of podcast, because it's like y'all automatically have the money to make your stuff
Yeah,
look great.
one of the it definitely does bother me, because one of the parts of the episode was the producer saying, "Oh, we're playing around with the idea of putting full-length YouTube episodes out," and Conan was just like, "So I gave up my late night talk show to be off TV, to go to audio only, to do clips, to go back on and do full-length interviews on YouTube."
Put you
And then the
right
guy
back
said,
in.
"Yeah," and then the guy said, "The one problem is you don't get paid as much." And he's like, "Great." And that's the thing. Like, yeah, they put up the episode he did with Harrison Ford, and it had 1.4 million views. And this is something I don't know if some of you might remember, and most of you guys we were all there except for Ness at the time. But when we did our podcast get together, our breakfast at Local Legends back in the day before the pandemic, one of the things I said when I was talking to that room was, your popularity as like celebrity status versus the quality of your podcast is kind of a weird graph, because the more popular you are, the more people will listen to you, and the less you have to care about the quality of your podcast. And there was and Conan, to his respect, he does put out a quality podcast. Like, he's the type of person that if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. But, you know, like, I think the example I gave then, and the one I always use, is Kumail Nanjiani, who was very popular coming off of Silicon Valley and a bunch of other things he'd done. Literally, him and his partner, his wife, Emily, recorded a podcast on an iPhone in the middle of a table once. And you can hear that. And I was just like, well, this is offensive.
I know sometimes when I listen to some podcasts, if it sounds off, I'm like, well, this episode's in the trash. Like, I can't, like, it's so distracting, because there's nothing else. There's no visuals, there's no this, it's just audio. And if you can't get the audio right, then it's like you don't notice bad audio until you notice it, and you're not supposed to notice it. That's that's also the scary thing about background music for movies. If you notice it way more than what's going on in the movie, then that's bad.
Yeah, that's a problem.
It's supposed to be ambient. It's supposed to be in the background, or to be was it diametric, where it kind of plays in with it?
Yeah.
Am I using the right word?
No, not diametric.
The other one.
Oh man.
Look at me saying the other one like I know.
Non-di. Oh shit.
Diegetic?
Diegetic. There we go. Non-diegetic and diegetic.
It's like it's with a D. I know it's somewhere there. I think the only complaint I have about Conan's podcast is that the name of it is Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend. If I was ever on that podcast, I feel dubious about being Conan O'Brien. He needs a friend. He's friends with all these famous people. Why can't you pick one?
And all of them are super nice. Like, I think it was like Robin Williams once heard that he liked biking, and when he got canned.
Oh, that was a story recently. Yeah,
when he got canned, he
he set up a bike for Conan to go ride around town.
Exactly. Like, he's like, go to this place, there's a bike set up for you and all that type of stuff. And when he arrived, it was like the most Irishy looking bike, as he described it. And it was like a little weird.
I'd like my friends to do that for me. That'd be nice.
Oh, he got him a nice bike, but like he put shamrocks on it. He put crazy colors on it. Like,
it was wild.
I mean, it's a free bike. You can come with some things.
It's got to be.
Hey.
I mean, Robin Williams was probably just like, "Hey, man, bike riding is what I do to stave off the depression." And then we know how
Conan apparently that's what he does.
Oh yeah, I could see
that's why he got him the bike.
Yeah, I could see Conan being depressed actually, based on
I
What
mean,
commentary is that?
I'm
well,
still
based on the
waiting-
title of the show and how he talks about himself.
yeah,
I can
very
see it.
self-deprecating.
Yeah,
hard.
yeah.
I'm still waiting for that movie, the biopic movie. That's the what's his name? Jim Carrey's supposed to play as him,
Oh, the
That
sketch.
is-
Yeah, that's
Oh.
where he was like,
no, it's
I
not a real
can't-
thing, Ness.
It's not a real
Oh.
thing. It was
It's a
one of his
sketch.
like I think his 10-year anniversary or 15th
Yeah.
anniversary episode.
Oh, okay, it was a gag.
And
Yeah,
it was
and Jim
like,
Carrey was intense in it. It was funny, pretty funny.
he was like, I can't hear the laughter.
yeah.
He's like looking in the mirror and he's crying on the side. But little did we know that's legit how he feels.
Yeah. Conan
Oh,
tells
wow.
us on a weekly basis, guys, I don't love myself, and we all laugh when he says it. And at some point, I'm like, maybe he doesn't.
This is him
Say
reaching
this.
out
Yeah,
for
yeah.
help, guys. You guys, everyone's like, ha, ha, ha. He's like crying in the background. Like, oh,
But I
no.
mean, that makes me feel. Most celebrities, I feel, deal with some sort of like depression. I feel like to be famous and to
Hey,
constantly-
regular people go through that. I wouldn't.
No,
be
I know.
surprised.
I'm just saying. I'm saying regular people don't. Oh, you know what, Ness? You're making such a fucking valid point that I was gonna say the average person doesn't feel validation from other people liking them, but we live in the social media era where we've now created the same effect on
in a different way.
in a different way. Because I was gonna say, like, as someone who was there before social media existed, every celebrity ever, stand-up comedian, all of them always talk about how they're either perfectly well-rounded people or severely depressed, and acting and comedy is how they balance out their lives.
yeah.
I've
Mhm.
never heard anyone say, I'm just an average person and I just happen to do this.
I can speak to that. Not because I'm famous, but I imagine it's because
Oh,
they've
fuck.
spent 20 years, 15 years to get to where they got to. And they get there and it's shit.
Being famous?
Oh yeah. They
Yeah.
no, just to get to the job that they wanted. That happens, it comes with fame. But they get there
Mm.
and the job is, yeah, it's cool, except for now I can't go outside. I can't get mail. Everybody knows my face. I can't pick my nose without someone criticizing me. This shit's
Yeah,
fucked.
there's so much
Paparazzi's
pressure.
following me.
Yeah. It's like, wait, I just wanted the
Sure.
million. Like, I really? Fuck.
This
Yeah,
is why I say things like, and I know I made fun of him when I talked about John Kim playing Blaze on Cruel Intentions, and now he's going to be in this new Gundam, in this new Voltron show. But when you're that level of fame where you're just like, no one really knows you yet, you're like third or fourth on the call sheet on a show on Amazon that no one's watching. You're now going to be the fifth because it's Henry Cavill, Sterling K. Brown, Rita Ora, John Kim. Who the f- is John Kim to those people? So when you get to be that level of famous, that to me seems like the dream, because it's like, okay, I'm at the level of fame where I get to be in these huge projects, and hopefully these huge projects can kind of go on and do well.
Mm.
But at the same time, I'm good. You know, like I'm decent.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Yeah,
funny.
'cause I remember
It's a lot.
Deion Cole, I think, was on Club Shay Shay, and he brought up, I think they were talking about dating famous women, and Deion Cole mentioned that he's dated famous women, and he was surprised that some of them are, they still feel, self-conscious about their looks and stuff. And he was like,
Yeah,
but you're you. What? You're dating a schlub. I mean, you're still like, he's like,
yeah,
what?
yeah.
He was shocked.
I would say. So, what you were about to say?
No,
Something?
because I was gonna say I feel like they might feel that way because anytime a person is talking to them, they're probably trying to get somewhere with something, So they have that self-conscious, like,
True.
oh, you're just being nice to me because you want something.
Right.
Yeah,
Uh,
I would say once you reach a certain level of like wealth, fame, any of that, you assume like everyone you look at is potentially someone who's just trying to get
the
one
bag.
over or get.
You're already like that even without fame.
True,
Like,
huh?
I
Yeah.
feel like I feel that way so many times when I meet people. You have like your guard up because you're like, are you just around because you want something? Like I just feel like as you get older, as you become an adult, you're like,
The paranoia
like-
sets in.
exactly.
Wait, is it bad that I don't think I have anything of value that people will want? So I'm just like,
Yeah,
whatever.
no, it's not bad, Brian. You just like
broken
you
in a
just
good
think-
You British? Why are you so
the best
self-deprecating?
no. But like, if someone comes around me, I don't. In my head, I'm just like, I've never had the thought of like, oh, what do you want? Because one, I don't think there's anything they could take advantage of, like with my kindness or anything, because I charge people for stuff. Like I charge.
I don't think it's your kindness. It's more
like I charge friends for stuff. Like I'm not shy about being like, nah, homie, that's $200. Like that's how much that costs. You know,
somebody
I
might want to take advantage of you because of your radio experience or your experience interviewing people, and
that's
like,
what I'm saying.
Like when you started charging niggas.
But that's it. That's what literally the first time people started asking me that stuff, I started thinking like, oh, I think I gotta charge people. And then that's it. Anytime I told people, I was just like, yo, I'm down. So I'll do, like, I've had meetings with people where I do the initial, like, 15 minutes, let's talk. And you know what? It's funny because I have a buddy of mine who's has his own business, and he talks about how people are really nasty with that stuff. And they come to him all the time being like, hey, can I pick your brain for something for like 2 minutes? And then he's nice and he doesn't charge them. And then he sees them using the knowledge he gave them to do stuff. My thing is,
classic.
Everyone that has approached me to be like, hey, I want to do a podcast, I'm like, cool. And I'll sit down and I will mine every bit of information out of what your idea is. Because
I'm gonna take
I already know that the average person doesn't do more than 6 episodes for a podcast. And that unless you have the drive to do it, you got sick, girl. I keep telling you it's not the same thing. Anyways, that's a whole other conversation. Whole other conversation.
Hey,
but
podcasts are a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
People don't.
But that's what.
That.
So
you guys.
But that's the thing. So when all these people have come to me and be like, "Yo, I have an idea," and I'm just like, "Cool." I get them to tell me every bit of their idea, and I have notes of all these ideas and all these things that people have pitched that no one has done. And if ever there's a day where I'm just like, well, it was 2 years ago that you hit me up and said you want to do a podcast about this subject, and I'm still looking at my watch and I check regularly. You didn't come back to me.
Why not?
You're not anywhere. I guess I'm going to do this subject on a podcast.
Yeah, why
no.
not?
I've caught you doing
That's
this
how the dumbest
when
time I was born.
I've caught you doing this when I've asked you for other people, and then I realized what it was. I'm like, oh, this nigga's smart. So I'd ask Brian because someone would ask me, hey man, how do you do this? I'd be like, I know the answer, but I know Brian knows it more. So let me just ask him, hey Brian, how do we so-and-so RSS feeds podcast? He'd be like, I don't know. I'd be like, the fuck you mean you don't know? You fucking know. Don't tell me you don't know. He's like, who's it for? I was like, it's for my boy. He's like, yeah, I don't know. I'm almost like,
okay. I think my favorite.
Bring out
because Skinny, I would tell you anything, but unless your friend wants to actually put down that first, like I said, 150, 200, because I'm not trying to be stingy. And like when I say 150, 200, I hope people don't think it's just me giving you information. The 150, 200 is just like I walk people through. I will submit your podcast to every podcast platform that exists.
It's literally like a training.
It's a training. It's a full training, and I get your podcast on every platform. Like I get your podcast on platforms you didn't know existed. People didn't know Samsung had a podcast platform. Our podcast is on Samsung. Like I'm saying, like it's in places that people don't know. So that's what, like when I tell people it's the 150, 200, it's like I do stuff like that. But like when Skinny was telling me like his friend was asking questions, it's just like, well, I mean, I can't. But it's also like I can't really explain it in 1 second. Like. No, you need the amount of people I've said you need an RSS feed, and they're just like, "What's that?" I'm just like, "All right, well, I don't like." Yeah. I'd have to go all the way back to like.
I would be like, "Those still exist." I thought those died, but then they came back. I think, because of what's going on right now.
Because RSS feeds weren't originally used for just podcasting. RSS feeds were used for like you could organize like journals and news and stuff like that, and then they turned it into a podcast thing, and it's a useful file because it's like an XML file where it's just all the information and it pulls it in, and Apple decided they were going to use that for podcasting. But how do you get one? Where do you build one? How do you get to Apple, to Spotify, to YouTube, to Samsung, to that all the stuff that I'm just like, well, I love you.
Don't give away game now.
No, that's what I'm saying. Exactly. I love them. They're friends, but it took me like 2017 when we said we were leaving CJLO. Bless CJLO. We had a great time doing the show at CJLO. But when we left CJLO and we were going to go on our own, and I had to figure out how to do that.
Yeah.
I figured it all out on my own. and we paid the prices that we had to pay early on because we didn't know everything. We didn't know what free resources and stuff. And then we got ourselves to a position where we pay a lot less now. And, anytime that we've had sponsors and stuff, it's covered all of our cost. And that's been good. So
I think
now you just got to manage me so that I can successfully charge people for beats because I don't know what you're doing.
Oh, homie. Honestly, I like
You should be doing that.
The way it works for your beats. I would say one thing I was actually going to send you. The little ones are on.
She's stealing his thunder.
One of the things I saw recently, there's a company that you can register your beats with, and that if you sent your beat to someone, it will run through like Spotify, YouTube, and stuff to scan. And if they've used your beat without paying you, you can flag them and demonetize it.
Wow.
And it's stuff like that people should be do
Pick up
Yeah.
your jaw off the floor. And
Skinny's whole face is changed.
Like,
You
But it's stuff.
you could Juice World. You could sting Juice World. You could do that.
yeah.
Like kids through college.
Wild.
should.
I think I was gonna say
Don't be
real
nice,
quick.
Skinny.
Yeah, go ahead, Josh. Sorry.
I'm gonna say real quick. I think my favorite, you should pay me for this information I'm giving you thing that I've heard or
Yeah.
watched was Curb Your Enthusiasm. So basically, he's talking to his friend that's a lawyer, who's his friend, it's a legit friend, and he asks him some like law adjacent question, and then they went their ways. Like, he's like, you're not asking me for actual law advice, are you? He's like, no, it's just a hypothetical. Oh, okay.
Uh-oh.
And then when he got home, I think maybe a week later, he gets a bill in the mail.
Oh, snap.
And the guy's like, yo, I thought you were my friend. Why are you charging me? He's like, look, I have a lot of friends. And
Yeah.
every once in a while, somebody, because I'm a lawyer, someone's going to ask me a question about law. And it started happening so often, I had to start charging them because it's like, are you really my friend because you're my friend? Or you're my friend because I'm a lawyer and I'm going to give you.
And this brings us right back to the beginning. Yeah, what we're saying.
So that's why I'm your friend and I have your address. So here's the bill.
and Conan doesn't actually need friends. All this to say, I feel that was a perfect full circle because one of the full episodes that's available on YouTube, and as much as he doesn't need the promo, it is still a funny episode. Larry David on Conan O'Brien full episode is available.
Look at
That was-
you. Wow.
That was a perfect full
was
circle.
this
That was a
man.
perfect full circle. Did we want to talk about it? Did we want to get into the craziness that was Gladiator 2? Are we
Oh,
ready?
Yes, I've been waiting for this.
I didn't get to see it, sadly, but go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I will
I'm
see
gonna
it.
watch from the rafters.
All right.
Lulu.
Ness, are you excited? Because you were.
boy.
I'm excited to hear what you guys have to say.
I had so many comments. Like when I watched it, and there's very few movies where when I watch the movie, I think to myself, oh, the villain is actually the right person. Is actually the good guy. The villain, the whole time you're watching the movie, you're like, oh, this man is horrible, but he's stylish as hell. And then you're like, oh, this man is taking advantage of people, but he got a point. And that's like the whole time I was watching Gladiator 2. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I'm gonna do it before we start. Before anyone gets mad.
Put that shit up.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Oh,
Spoilers.
yeah. I was gonna say we should. Yeah.
Spoilers. Coming from the left, coming from the right. Spoilers everywhere.
Leave now if you don't want to hear spoilers.
There.
Damn it.
There you go. So, just so you guys know,
gosh.
I watched this movie, and as I was watching the movie, I realized I was just like, okay, got it. Hano, the main character, played by Mescal. I don't
Paul
know.
Mescal. Yeah.
Paul. There we go. So Paul Mescal is the white savior amongst the Muslims. Already problematic. I was just like, all right, we're in Africa. We're the white boy. We're saving everyone.
There's a reason.
Well, they
The
explain
cheap-
that. They do explain that.
Yeah.
Guys, does it make it better? Just explaining why there's a white savior doesn't change that there's a white savior. Just saying.
It's not meant to be a white savior.
I don't
it's
think
meant
it's-
to be
Hold
that
on.
he was in hiding.
Yeah, it's supposed to be viewed that way.
I would rewind. Let me start with this. Whether or not we want to, the character is a white man who was brought. He was a white child in hiding because his life was in danger, which we find out. I won't say yet why, but we understand his life was in danger. His life was in danger. He ends up in Africa. While he's in Africa, he becomes the right hand to one of the chieftains of an African tribe or
His
kingdom.
father.
He's naturally a soldier, so he so happens to be a better.
He wasn't naturally a soldier, though. Remember,
No,
the
but they're
character.
trying to-
the
they were trying
blood
to
that
sh-
flows
they were trying to
through
show
his
that
blood.
he took after his father. They were trying to.
That's
Right.
all they're trying to
Okay.
do. That's all they're trying to do.
Because I understood that they were trying to make it look that Paul Mescal's character is taking after his father, who, shocker, Maximus Aurelius, blah 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 blah. It's
The one and only.
it's the only one Maximus. You can only have the Maximus bloodline. Ha ha ha. Whatever. Anyways, so I get that that's what they were doing, but I still
Well, we
need
know where Brian's going with this.
Oh, gosh.
I still need to understand why. He's not a soldier. He's not a soldier trained. He was a child. He was brought over there. His mom sends him off when he's a kid.
Mm.
So
Mhm.
he didn't become a soldier.
He
In
watched
the
his
Roman
dad.
Empire. He was a child. He was 12. That's not where he learned to be a
No, of
fighter.
course not.
He learned to be a fighter somewhere in Africa
Yeah.
amongst the where
The
he
mean streets of Africa.
the
yes.
mean- the quote-unquote- the mean streets of the African
Mean streets
Empire.
of Cairo.
Yeah.
You know?
Like
Where
Aurora.
he rises and helps fight with the Muslims
In a city.
in
Not-
a
not-
some
not-
city.
not- they never say it's the most.
Sorry,
biggest
true. They
city or
didn't.
whatever.
Yeah, they didn't say Muslims. They just had them doing prayers and washing themselves after they lost to the Romans.
It looked like a multicultural city.
Did that is a Dave? You are lying. You are lying. Capital L. Anyways, so we get this
God.
whole beginning. He survives it all. Pedro Pascal, Roman Empire daddy shows up and is all like, no, to take the wall. Oh, the plank's not going down. I'll fix it. Runs over with his shit. Anyways, all this to say we get back to Rome.
Pretty basic soldiers, by the way. To cut a rope is not the hardest thing in the world.
Dude, thank you for saying it. I'm watching this movie and they're saying not even did they just not fix it. One of them yells, "The plank won't go down." And I'm like,
cut the rope.
I'm so annoyed that you are all this dumb in battle. But let me
They put
okay,
the stupid ones first, though.
exactly. That I was just gonna say. So credit where credit's due. The dumb ones are in the front. They don't know what to do. They somehow win this battle against these very intelligent Africans who just are outnumbered essentially. And then they enslave them as the Romans do. And this is where my first main part of this story to me, I started to go, okay, so as I understand it, this movie is reminding us that Rome is the bad guy.
Mhm.
That's what it feels like the movie starts with.
Mhm.
Rome is the bad guy. Rome is trying to conquer. They are colonizers and conquerors and bad people. They're
Oh.
not good people.
Or at least
they
their
the-
kings are.
Not just their kings. The soldiers and everyone are doing the king's bidding.
Well, yeah,
Are
yeah,
they-
that's led by the.
Are they the Empire?
Yeah. So the movie- So that's the thing. The movie is giving us, historical fact, the empire. But then the movie wants us, and this is the part that made it hard for me, to see Paul Mescal's character comes to terms with the fact that he is a child of the empire, the son of the empire, and should rule the empire.
Well,
And
he's
by the end-
he's the Prince of Rome.
He's a prince of Rome. He knows all the things. He saw Remus and Romulus on the statue suckling at the teat of the wolf and was just
But I
like,
don't think he
That ain't
wanted
right.
that. I don't think he was. it
I don't
doesn't
know.
seem-
he didn't want it, but then
The
joined the forces and
The
killed
shift
the
was weird.
Yes, the pivot
The
doesn't
shift
make
was weird.
sense.
'Cause
the
let's be
shift-
honest.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. He's like, I want to kill Pedro.
Right.
You killed my wife. You killed my wife. That's what he was upset about.
Yes,
Yeah.
That's what he was pissed off about.
He
Well,
wanted
more than that,
revenge.
the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
empire,
And then
but
he-
his wife dying too.
And
Yeah.
then his
Yeah.
well, I mean, yeah, but it was
And
mainly
watching Maximus die.
yeah. Well, I mean, but the whole thing was like
he
because
wants Pedro Pascal dead because he killed the wife. Yes,
Yeah, because
but he's
that's
also
the driving force, right?
He's
Like
but he's not just upset about that. He's upset about having to be forced back into the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
Of course. But here's the
After
thing, right?
seeing, yeah.
Here's the thing. He's like, yeah, screw you guys. Yeah, screw you, mom. Oh man, I had to kill your husband. I mean, he wasn't so bad other than killing my wife. And then all of a sudden, I want to rule everything. I thought it weird.
It was the
I
most
thought
ridiculous
I didn't
pivot.
see it that way
it
though.
was-
I didn't see it that way. I feel like well, number one, he didn't want to kill the husband, which is why he
Yeah.
ended up surrendering.
He
Hold
literally
on.
asked for his blood.
The
That was the
hold
deal.
on, Ness. That's what we're saying. The whole movie, he says, "I want his head."
Yes,
and then
because he didn't know
Sure.
the situation.
Yeah, 'cause he didn't know he was banging his mom. I mean, that doesn't really necessarily
No, I
change his
think
wife
no.
not being there.
I think what it looks like is the
Right.
husband was doing what he had to do to get himself in a better position. That's what
Right.
it seems like.
Yeah.
That's what they're making it seem like. So
By
they're
the way,
Well,
the mother is the daughter of Maxus Aurelius, who is the love interest of the original Gladiator character Maximus.
yes.
So
Also,
it's Maximus'
the-
wife.
it wasn't his
No.
wife.
No, it wasn't his
Blonde
wife.
girl is his
So-
wife.
It's not his
No,
wife.
That's
so
his
Max.
son, no?
So in the first Gladiator,
It's his son, but they
Maximus-
were not together.
Yeah.
so in the first Gladiator, Maximus had a
Like
wife and
matched.
son,
Yes.
and they got killed.
Yes.
But then it seemed like he
But-
was kind of good with
he had an
the-
affair.
the
I don't even,
emperor's
That's another thing
daughter.
that they never actually like not acknowledged, but they never clarified that. Like in the first movie, they don't talk about him being his son. It's like
no, they do
nowhere.
not.
I thought
They never
I thought
tell you that. They don't
hinted-
even give you that insinuation.
Well,
You just
I
think
thought they sort of hinted.
They hint in the sense
Well,
that yes, they had a fling, but they don't make it obvious that yes, this is your kid. They don't
But-
say you two fucked in the time frame when this kid was to be born.
They didn't do the
They-
face off thing.
No, yeah.
I know.
But I mean,
Like, sorry.
it's what was weird though about it is they don't make it obvious that that's his dad, but it's
Right.
clear that his dad is not around. And I think in the
Yeah.
first movie they say like he died or something fighting or something
Well,
like that.
They
her,
insinuated.
in the
Yeah.
in this movie, when the senators are talking about it, the senators say, "Oh, the kid." Oh, sorry, not the senators. Denzel and his drunken buddy, who's
Which was a hilarious scene.
weirdest
Like,
scene.
We're just figuring everything out for you.
Yeah,
It was like if you're slow to the show, this is what's happening.
like they just like verbal diarrheaed what was going on in the
Yeah.
movie so far, and I was like, "Oh,
if you
God.
fell asleep, so
Stop
far.
with the exposition dumps. This is the worst." I genuinely dislike exposition dumps done like that, and the fact that it was done in like this weird scene where it just cuts to Denzel talking to a drunk guy, then pretend humping a girl. It was like, what is happening? Why are we having Denzel pretend hump a girl from behind drinking wine? Please
It's
stop.
Christmas. That's why.
Yeah, it's Christmas. It's Christmas.
The true
but-
meaning of Christmas.
So the movie starts. You find out that Mescal is known as Hano. He gets picked up by Denzel Washington's character to be a gladiator. He starts throwing him into the fights. Denzel is conniving and manipulating, and he's trying to make moves. He implies to Paul Mescal's character that he's not even implies. I think he says outright he was a gladiator.
that he himself was a gladiator?
Denzel's character.
He
I
didn't
think
say he was a gladiator. He said
he
that
was
he was
enslaved
He
by
was
it.
enslaved.
Okay,
He was enslaved.
so he was
came from
enslaved.
He said
being
that to the
enslaved.
mom, but to
No, but he has a scene with
Paul
Paul Mescal.
but he
where they're
makes it sound
talking
like
about-
he's a soldier. He said he was under
Was it-
his
was
Oh,
it-
sorry.
his
Yes, you're right.
grandfather's army.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Something
the
like that.
medicine man that says that he was a
Right.
gladiator.
Sorry. You're right. So all that you find out that he, at least in some way, is connected to the grandfather, because at this point he knows that who the grandfather
Right.
is.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't know how he worked with the grandfather, but he worked with the grandfather.
Question though, was that the same gladiator leader? Like, is he playing the same character, or is this a different character? Because I remember in the first one he said the same thing, that he knew.
Denzel's character.
Because the gladiator leader in the first one
Yeah.
also had a scene where he said he knew Marcus.
Right.
Aurelius.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, thank you for bringing that up. There's
'Cause I'm like,
there's
are they?
there's too many like repeated
Yeah.
tropes from the first movie in this one.
Yeah. There's
Too
two.
many. You didn't need to do the picking up of the sand. You didn't need to do like
How would you know he's
the,
his son?
the touching
that's
of the
okay.
grass. No, those are I. If you're gonna make a sequel,
It's like we get it.
no, but I think
Airplane 2, bro.
my problem with these movies is when I saw The Force Awakens and I realized it was A New Hope, that was devastatingly boring to me. I watched that movie hoping for something new and just got A New Hope. And I was just like, I didn't want A New Hope. I wanted a new King movie.
Should have kept George around.
Right. So,
Well, I mean, I know did you ever hear the original plan for Gladiator 2?
ooh, please tell me, because anything would have been better than what I saw.
Buckle up.
Well, because again, Denzel should have been the whole movie.
I'm gonna give my opinion like in a brief
I want to
summary
give my
later.
I want to give my few qualms.
I'm just
too.
saying, when
Right.
you watch the movie, Denzel is trying to take down the Empire, and that to me is the right thing to do. So I don't know how I'm watching this movie and siding with the white guy who's bringing the Empire together and
He wants
ruling
to bring
over the world.
honor back. They both
He's
want,
but he's not fixing the system.
They technically both wanted the
But
same
neither was
thing.
Denzel.
They
No.
wanted to break down what was the structure that it was.
What-
one wanted to do it in a more I want to do it my way, and the other one wanted to do it more in an
Denzel-
honorable way.
Denzel wasn't about structure. Denzel said what a lot of people have
about
said
power.
about systems. Not even just power. He said about power, but what was the other thing he said?
Money.
You have to destroy a system. And the dream of Rome is a lie, because the dream of Rome where everyone is equal is not possible. He didn't say this, but he essentially said, in a world where half of the people are enslaved, how can you say you have a country of equality?
Yep.
The dream of Rome is a lie. Half the people are enslaved. You can't even pretend
You
that
can
the
still try.
that Denzel was going to try because he was going to burn it down from the inside.
But that's not the right
but-
way to do it.
But hold on,
Just
hold
kill
on.
everyone?
Tell that to half the
Revolution.
He wasn't saying he was going to kill everyone. He killed all the corrupt leaders. Who did he kill? Please give me a list
But
of the
he was.
people.
But he himself was corrupt.
How was he corrupt?
All he cared about was money and power.
And what did he do with the
just wanted
power?
to be the richest man. And then he even.
I feel like you missed a big part of what Denzel was trying to do.
I mean, that was part of it.
because when
It was
he
part of
had
it. It was
when
part
he
of it.
had that moment with
Well,
the mom,
Yes.
the princess, the queen, sorry. When
Yes.
he had that moment with her, he showed the scar he had from being
Right.
a slave.
Yes, because that's
from
when he tells
her
her
father. Yes,
the dream is a
But-
lie.
which is why you can. I feel like that moment, his intentions are not good, because
But
he's in a way he's going for his
He's
own.
equally for revenge.
Hold on. You guys are calling it revenge, but tell me, who was he talking to in that moment?
I call it vengeance, but
He was talking to the heir of the empire that enslaved him.
Queen?
Yes, she was technically the proper heir.
Yeah,
she didn't
as
get
in-
the throne.
As in the first movie, Jonah Paquin, she's Jonah Paquin's brother, and then Jonah Paquin killed their dad, who was
Joaquin Phoenix, you mean?
Thank you, Joaquin
Yeah,
Phoenix. So he goes and he kills the father, and he says, my dad passed away in his chambers,
Yeah.
and it's like, no, you straight up murked
Yeah.
You
The-
knifed him.
An enslaved man says to the princess of the empire, the system that you live in and are empowered to is a lie. He then proceeds, and throughout the story, he rises to power and kills the two mentally unstable leaders and tells her, I know your father. This is this scar here is from the man who's talked about equality, and the system needs to be burnt down.
I get where he's
and
coming from. I
I
just
don't-
think his approach, it's almost like you're not any better. You're doing.
But the thing I saw when I watched the movie that I still genuinely, as I was watching it, who is he? Like, he didn't kill the senators. He killed.
But he was trying to keep them. I feel like he was just trying to take over the same circus, but make him the ringleader.
the leader. Yeah.
But we don't know that.
We don't know, but
Because
obviously
he dies.
Exactly.
That's conjecture, homie, because you're jumping to the conclusion that that's what he wanted to do.
Look,
At
There's no point in the movie where he insinuates that he's trying to have peace for Rome. Like
that's true.
he's constantly
He doesn't
seems
want
like he's
peace.
scheming just for power and money the whole time.
Well, hold on. I'll ask you this: how often do you see people who want power say, I want them to burn it all down? Because
Nah, usually they
multiple
wanna rule it.
times they want to
rule
rule it. They don't want to burn it down. And both times that people said to him, if you do this, the people will burn the city to the ground. And he said, sounds all right to me. Bet. Let's go. Both times that they said that he would burn the city down to him, he said,
But how does that not create more war?
it doesn't create more war. It destroys the empire. He
It
wants the
destroys
empire to.
but then other states
Rome
are going
should-
to come
but
after them.
I feel he wanted what's it called?
Let the Persians come then, because Rome wasn't good. They're colonizers.
I'm not
he
saying they were good. No, I
No,
know.
that's what I'm saying. I watched a character say, I want to take down the Roman Empire, and proceed to do that with as little bloodshed on his hands as possible. He killed the bad
On
leaders.
his hands, but he made his soldiers kill.
Well, he doesn't even have soldiers.
but
his
he was going to
gladiators,
have
sorry.
them.
He,
So
was
first
He
of all,
also
he
sent
had
the army-
gladiators. So he had gladiators, but
Yeah.
then the second, if it wasn't for their fight at the end,
Mhm.
technically those people warring where it was his army would have been his army.
Right, which he
No.
sent to attack
I
the
I
people
just feel
defending
But
Lucius.
when the gladiators were going to kill the queen, and the guy told him, if she dies, the people will turn and burn it all down.
yeah, he agreed. He
And then-
wanted that.
And then that's what he wanted.
Yeah.
But then the gladiators came, his gladiators came and stopped the soldiers.
Yeah, but those gladiators came because they were supporting
Lucius.
The queen.
Lucius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he didn't get what he wanted.
I know, but then he killed her himself.
Yes, because his plan to turn everyone against it and burn Rome to the ground, which Lucius, a son of the empire, is trying to protect, wins.
Well,
That's what I'm saying.
all-
Rome doesn't fall. This man is saying, I want to destroy the colonizers, and the colonizers won. And that's how the movie ends.
Of course. And but all I'm saying is I feel both of them wanted to do change. One wanted to do it.
I
Quote,
still think he
unquote-
wanted to burn it down.
Well, all I'm saying is
Maybe.
I feel that Lucius was, I want to try and go back to our old ideology and therefore destroy what's currently in place, which is obviously, pipe dreams. But then you have Denzel, which I feel is more like I felt his drive was more, I want to destroy this all and then let's just make it survival of the fittest. Which
Yes.
would have just been chaos and pandemonium.
Right, that's what I'm
Which,
saying.
which
That's
where,
what I
which-
think. too.
that's where the evil feel comes from.
I would say in a situation where you've destroyed and enslaved so many people, he's fucking right.
I'm not saying he's
Because
but that's just different opinion
he
about the
said
scenario.
the dream of Rome is a lie and Rome should only be ruled by strength, and then proceeded to try and create a world in which the empire falls and only the strong survive. And Lucius went back and fought so that honor could win and just brought the armies together. And now all you have is a Roman Empire run by a white guy with a 1,100 men strong army, and that's how the movie ends. And that to me doesn't seem any better than how we started.
Okay, so I want
11,000 soldiers at
The
his
movie is
disposal.
called Gladiator. Like
I know.
It's
I got it. I'm
about-
just saying.
it's about the gladiator.
I get it.
I want to put my bullet
Well, I mean,
points.
But I understand your
And
points.
It's kind of similar to the first movie where it's about a gladiator, but he ends up, killing. Somehow a
Everything.
gladiator ends up killing the emperor.
And then the empire was supposed to get better, but somehow from
Went
that
back.
moment
It did not.
to the next, some other guy took over and twins took, and everything went to shit immediately.
That's why this is supposed to be like, oh, now things changed. Finally, the
Mhm.
good guy got it.
Yeah, Denzel was the good guy and he didn't get it.
Well, Rome did burn down in the end. Nero.
I
takes
just
over and
wanna-
then-
Give a summary though to what I thought.
Yes, go ahead.
I thought I had issues with it myself, but
Mm.
I did think Paul Mescal did a good job. He did sell it to me, the
Mm.
gladiator
Okay,
experience.
so Denzel didn't lie. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, I think he did a really
Give
good
him
job. Um,
Denzel didn't.
but it's definitely a different job compared to
the
the
original.
last gladiator. I feel like it was a very different character, which was cool.
Yeah, it's gotta
Um,
be.
Only thing is, I wish they had more backstory on how he got to where he was. That I feel like they lacked
time.
on, or they slacked.
More table setting for sure.
Yeah, because I was kind of like, asking myself like, oh, how did he get a wife and does he have kids and blah blah blah. Like it's
There's a
I
whole
wish
movie in
how did he learn to
between.
fight?
Yeah.
Like I wish they
Yeah.
showed a bit more of that.
Mm.
Yeah.
And it would have been too long of a movie though. I think.
No, but I think there's a whole like do a comic book or something, but do something because there's too much missing.
There's too much of a gray area.
Way
I thought
too
the
much
score
missing.
was good. Is it me? The VFX I thought was kind of bad. I
Oh,
thought it
they're
was a little
horrible.
shit. Yeah.
When the apes come out the first time when they show the shark in the water.
Those ape monster
those sharks
things,
were hungry.
What was that? Like I thought
Dude.
that was so weird, that scene. With
Like
the
they-
ape
with-
monster thingies.
Yeah. Are those supposed to be what apes looked like in Roman times?
I think they're trying to show a less evolved version of an ape. That
It was
would have
really
also been a
strange to
start-
me.
That was weird.
I found it strange that
super
everyone
weird.
was like making ape noises at him. I'm like, if this guy just survived all that and bit an ape, I would not be like enticing him because I feel like he's trying to take a bite out of me. I'm just saying.
I don't know. The whole monkey thing was weird, and I also
Yes.
thought the battle on the water was weird.
Okay,
I was
Yes.
like,
can
so they
you
just
think-
turned this into a pool of like,
can I add on to that for 1 second?
yeah, of course.
So here's the only thing that really irked me about that scene. Every other day when they're preparing the Coliseum, there's like details about how they're preparing it.
Right.
And then you get to this part and they're like, let's just move this brick in a bunch of water. Me and my friends were like, no,
That's
you
what
have to
I'm
like
saying.
destroy a dam somewhere. Like,
It
I
makes
feel there's
no
a lot
sense.
more. And then the other thing I was thinking, I'm like, all the other slaves that are like not fighting, who are like still in the cellar, they're dead. They're drowning.
No, they must.
Like,
I mean,
that's how
ideally
sense
they
works.
move them, but
But
Yeah.
there's no. Anyways, I just thought it weird. But go on.
That
Sorry,
was
go on. Des.
super weird.
Because I know there's like a lot of stuff in the first movie that they kind of cut out and they didn't do because they're like, I think people would find this weird, but like I know like when Maximus becomes the gladiator and he's winning, like
Yeah.
what they would do is that they would actually have them do ads for like oils and this, that, and they'll put mosaics and stuff and like have actual commercials with them. And some people are like, that's bullshit. That never happened. It's like, well, that's what this is. This is what this old thing here is. That's what this old thing here is, an actual
Oh,
gladiator. So they're like,
interesting.
let's take that out of the movie because it's gonna be weird to have like a hey, look,
Product
I'm doing-
placements.
yeah, product placement back in the day.
Oh wow!
And it's like, no, they did do
They did
that,
that
but they
for
took
sure.
it out because people would feel like that's weird.
Can you imagine working in marketing in 2024 and pitching a product placement to like a basketball player and realizing they've been doing that shit since ancient Rome? You are doing the same fucking
Like-
job.
Like
God
that,
damn, that's
Second to
boring.
prostitution.
that makes that scene from
The
Disney's
second oldest.
Hercules where Hades sees that his minions are wearing Hercules shoes, like
Yeah.
all that more like they had product placement. They sold
For
stuff.
sure.
Check out these Aries airs right here.
Also, I know that emperors were supposed to be like they wanted to have idiots running it. I get it, but it was a little too in your face for me. It was a little too
stupid.
The
too
twins?
dumb. Yeah, too
Yeah.
stupid, too humorous. Like they had
Well,
so
one of them
much
had-
makeup on.
Yeah, one of them had syphilis, which is like
And that's why they had the makeup on.
one of them has syphilis, and that's why he's going insane. Which is what
Yeah,
they
that I understood.
yeah.
But it's
Which-
just I just felt like their characters were just a little too dumb for me. Like especially
Yeah.
after watching Joaquin Phoenix be the emperor in the first one.
Yeah.
Such a drastic change. Like I get it. It's like it's dumb, it's idiots running it, but at the same time I was like it's too much in your face. For me it was too much. I also thought they could have used Pedro Pascal better.
Yeah.
I feel like he was
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
used well. Which really disappointed me because I love him as an actor.
Well, they had to bring back what's her name, and I think that's
But I think
honestly tying the first one to this one. I think
it
is
was
what
a
does
stretch.
what does the movie a disservice
Yeah, it was a very loose thread.
because you didn't need Connie
Yeah.
Nielsen, Lucilla's character, to be in this
Her
one.
too, she could have done. I wish she'd done more in this
Yeah.
one.
Either she did
Like, she
more
did the
or you
same
don't
thing.
have her because what she did didn't
Yeah.
work.
The time management of storytelling to it basically
They should have killed her earlier.
There was a lot
Agreed.
of there was a lot of time management issues. I found a little bit.
Yeah.
with the
Yeah,
story.
especially for 2 hours and 27 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Like
true.
too much, man.
I have another point or two, but unless you're not done.
No, I'm done. I'm done.
Okay, so because you guys have basically touched upon a lot of things I'd I would say. The few things I did like was simple story, which is what it should have been. But again, we named all the potholes of that simple story, so it is what it is. I do find the action scenes were fun.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah,
fun.
the fighting
Yeah.
was really good.
The hurting was really, I really like action films a lot. Like I've even been quoted on the show. I once bought a movie just because of a shotgun kill, because I was like, it's just a really cool ass shotgun kill. Never Die Alone. Anyways, DMX movie, but anyways, when they cut off Denzel's hand in the movie, I actually jumped. I was like, oh, that was so
intense.
real. Oof.
Yeah.
Like I tasted a little, like in a good way, almost tasted vomit in my mouth. I was like, that was so
I didn't,
good, but like
I didn't get. They had
oh.
scenes like that looked so real, and then they had scenes like
The monkeys.
cutting the
Yeah,
head.
it was
Oh.
inconsistent.
Yeah.
It was that was going to be one of my complaints, is that certain things were inconsistent in that. And two things that irked me with Denzel, it's like, one, everyone else is like talking all Romanesque, and he's just like talking like Denzel speak,
Damn right.
you know. And the only reason why they go around that, I realized that through the movie, I'm like, why did they mention that I speak all the languages? Like, oh, that's why you don't have an accent.
Yep.
Because you speak all the
It
languages.
was perfect.
That was
He had
wise.
an army brat accent in ancient Rome, which was just Denzel swagger.
Yeah.
It was such a good way to put that in. Like
Yeah.
whoever wrote the line, like, I speak all the languages, I was just like, what? And then to realize everyone else talks like Roman, and then Denzel's just like, listen here, son. And I'm like,
Pedro
yeah.
Pascal's character. Did you notice?
Yeah, Pedro Pascal also just kind of had a regular
He was like
accent.
American.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing I thought funny because of that,
So funny.
a lot of his like deviousness reminded me a lot of Training Day. And I swear to God, at one point in
So-
time, I thought he was gonna be like, Marcus Aurelius got nothing on me. Like I wanted him to scream it, or be
Yo.
like, the gods have nothing on me. Like I wanted it.
Sold.
I was like, do it, just do it.
Give me Gladiator 1.5 about Denzel's character.
Gladiator
Would watch.
day straight up.
Would watch.
Because what was funny is I was in the theater with like some friends, and one of my friends was sitting beside me. He's like, yo, he's doing such a good job as a bad guy. I've never seen him as like a bad guy. I'm like, I paused. I'm like, Training Day? And he's like, and he got like the exact same vibe after I mentioned
I
that.
just forget he was the bad guy.
I think you're
charming. You thought he was the good guy.
exactly. And in this movie, he is actually the good guy, and that's the problem with the story. Denzel was trying to end Rome, which we needed.
We're gonna burn this down, Pookie. We're gonna burn this mother down,
Dude.
Burn it down, Pookie. Burn it down.
I get that the story was kind of trying to stay true to history, whatever. So I
Not
understand
that
that.
good of a job.
Yeah, we did not do a good
Although for people who complained about it, actually, and we researched this after the movie, me and my friends, they used to actually fill up the Coliseum with water.
Yeah. That has
So a lot of people
Oh,
are like,
wow.
that's not
I was
real.
gonna
No,
search that up.
aqueducts.
I didn't have
That's
time.
true. It
Build
really
all
does
those
happen.
aqueducts to diverge water.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Which that the boat strategy there to destroy all the ores, I was like, that is
Yeah.
fire. That was wild.
But hey, once again, we don't know why he's such a good strategist.
No,
we
of
don't
course.
know anything about him.
You needed a montage at least to show him from
Yeah.
infant to
It made
badass warrior.
no sense that
I
this
mean-
man.
The only way I could kind of see it is that when he was living with his mom, he's learning some of that stuff. Then he gets sent away in the middle of
But
it.
I
so he has
agree, they
some of that
should've-
knowledge as
The,
he.
the first half should have been like
Jaws.
give
I-
it
do you-
more
that's the only way I
background
could-
story.
No, no.
Because it was a bit too much like he's the chosen one. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
And
like,
that
you
was
need
my
to-
problem. The whole movie is telling us that this blonde,
Because he has
blue-eyed
Maximus's
white boy
blood.
in Africa is the chosen one. I hated it. I hated that aspect.
But it's
of
not.
it.
It's not because he's a blonde white boy. It's because he's Maximus' son.
The
He
only
wasn't
the,
blonde.
the only way
Not blonde in the movie.
No, he's not.
the only
Blue-eyed,
way I can
sure,
see
not
that the only way I
Sorry,
can see it working.
Chatin. He had Chatin hair for all the francophones.
So the only reason I could see that working is just because he's the next in line for Rome, right?
No,
So
I get it.
He'd be tutored.
He'd
like,
be
as if
tutored.
he's going to be the next ruler, right?
Jaws.
But
I
that's
get it.
the only way I could see that. But again, I
Yeah,
understand.
but how
I
do you do
know,
that 12
but
years old and 15 years
That's
later?
the
Like,
problem. He's
remember,
12.
your age expectancy back then is what, 30? 30, 40.
I get what you're saying, but he's 12
Cram that in.
He's 12 when he disappears.
Right.
And then in the movie, he's in his late 20s. So there's at minimum 10 years where he's been what?
Yes.
What? Give me the Jesus from 12 to 33. Same way the Bible doesn't explain it is the same way you don't explain this guy. What is the problem with telling us what happened with people
He had a
between 12 and
family, he had
33?
kids and a wife, and they all died. And we're not telling you anything about that because he was pure. Get out of here.
Jesus Christ had a family and a wife, and they didn't tell us nothing about it. What is this?
Jesus. No.
Same thing with this moron, Paul Mescal.
But a question, an unanswered question. Jaws, what was the rumored storyline before this?
Oh yeah, we'll let it end on that.
So originally, Gladiator 2 was going to star Russell Crowe. So this is probably like a little bit few years after the first one. So Russell
But he
Crowe
dies.
So yeah. So the writer of the first movie, the original guy that wrote it, I think it was like some musician or something like that. He was like, but didn't you die in that movie, Russell Crowe? And he's like, yeah, but you'll figure it out. You're the writer. So the story the guy wrote was basically Russell Crowe comes back from Elysium after being with his family, being with his kids. He comes back from Elysium as like an undead warrior and like fights and takes down Rome or something like that. And then he kind of stays around in the world and he fights in World War II and in this war.
They were going to go full crazy, like
immortal type shit?
Like God of War. Like what would God of War 1 would have been if he just kept fighting as the
sold. Take my money.
Because I know in the first draft of the script, it would kind of be like, oh, there's an Elysium and there's a this and a back, and it's like a kind of like a back and forth. That's why you're constantly seeing him kind of seeing his family dead kind of thing, because that would have played more into the sequel, and it just never happened. But I think you could find the script online, but it's crazy. It's just undead warrior comes back from the dead, seeks more revenge.
Insane. Insane story. All right. And on that note, do we want to give our ratings before we sign off?
Oh boy.
5 on 5?
I want to hear Brian first before I do anything.
Well,
see what your litmus test is.
Up until Denzel dies, it's a 4.5 movie.
And
Wow.
That's pretty good.
And then Denzel dies and they kill the hero and it drops to a 2.
You're talking on 10 though, right?
That's a huge
No, you said 5.
drop.
Are you saying
No,
on
5,
5?
on 5, on 5.
Okay.
That's still crazy drop. That's
Yeah, because you killed the hero of the story.
in your eyes, but that's not what Gladiator is.
That's also the first one.
Let's just remind the audience of one quote of
Good
Skinny
point.
to Brian.
Jaws right there.
Let's
You know what, Jaws? You might have just put it up to a 2.5. The first movie ends with the hero dying. The second movie ends with the hero dying. Well said, Jaws. 2.5.
Let's
No
also
one gets
just
out of the Coliseum alive.
I just want to remind the viewers listening.
Yep.
Brian's also the person that Skinny quoted, "Don't give this man superpowers."
Nope.
And Brian was very much on with
Do
that.
not give me superpowers. I will burn the world to the ground.
Exactly.
I've said it before and I'll say it again.
I will give
over
this a 3.25 to 3.5.
Jesus
Somewhere
Christ.
in that area.
2 5s. This quarter of a fucking star over here.
That's right.
Get out of here.
A quarter
Anyways.
for a star for a quarter of a movie.
Okay.
That was good.
Ness, can you give us a real score, please? Instead of these decimal points like Bozo over here.
I was
gave
thinking a
decimal
decimal point actually.
You gave decimal points.
I said 2, and then he made a good point. I said, you know what? You killed the hero in the first, you killed the hero in the second. I'll give it half a star for that.
If you put
You're
it-
doing quarter stars.
If you did it on a 10-point system, I would have sounded better. So that's all I'm going to say.
Insane. All right, Ness, and then we're out.
In a letterbox terms, I would probably give it a 2.5 or 3. I'm
Wow,
kind
we're
of
on the
in
same page.
between.
We're on the same page.
Yeah, I'm in
We're
between.
not far between.
We're on this, guys.
I'm leaning more towards 3.
Sure.
So technically,
Sure,
the
but
average
not a
is
good
roughly 3.
Which is
Yeah,
an
we've put
average.
it out
It's
there.
an
Average to
average
3.
movie. It's an
Yeah,
average
it's
movie.
a 2. Yeah, the problem is average movies should not be over 2 hours. If you're going to be an average movie, you can't be too long. That's my
Wicked
problem.
to me was under average, and it was 3 hours long.
Damn.
And there's a sequel because I was.
And
part
yeah, that's
one.
not even the fucking end. It's so
Coward.
sad.
You know what's crazy though? The first Gladiator actually got a lower score than this one.
Then what
For-
we're
from
saying?
you?
No, like on Rotten Tomatoes. Sorry, like critically.
Yeah,
speaking.
but
I don't trust that.
don't trust
site.
Rotten
No, I'm
Tomatoes
just
now.
saying. I'm just saying. I was surprised to
tomatoes are
see
rotten.
that it's rated lower than Gladiator 2.
Oh, you mean like the actual like one comparison to
The original, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, the original.
That's a lie.
I don't know. These people are crazy.
That's a lie.
Guys, that's the whole crazy ass show. That is our whole crazy ass show. We had a blast. We said some wild shit. I mean, it's almost the.
Sorry, I lied.
Oh.
Go on.
Sorry, I got
I lied.
80% on Rotten Tomatoes. Gladiator 2 got 71.
Oh, okay.
My bad. I mixed them up.
Which is, still a little bit
Which
higher
is-
than we were giving
Which
it.
is
But
possible because you can mix up these movies.
yeah, it's
They're
the
so
same.
similar.
It's the same movie twice, except Denzel's the hero in the second one. Guys, that's it. That's the whole show. I had a blast. I love talking these movies with you crazy people. Don't forget to check out all our stuff. Follow us at Geek Sci-Fi on socials, but also check out our website, geeksci-fi.com. The schedule for the holidays, we will figure it out. You'll find out. It will be on the website. We'll let you guys know. Don't worry. We will always let you know what's going on. But yeah, we're going to be trying to do some stuff before the end of the year so we can have some specials for you guys. And that's pretty much it. Anything you guys want to tell the people, Jaws?
Check out Transformers Slag and check out the Toy Armada podcast with Aaron Archer on YouTube.
That's it, y'all. Peace, everybody.
Peace.
Peace.